Welcome, everyone.
Come on in, cowpoke.
This is episode 3, and it's starring Thomas Kennedy, Trevor Selby, and Reese Scripture. And guess what? This is how I'm going to talk through this whole episode. I hope y'all enjoy, because I sure won't.
When is it appropriate to wear your Speedo?
If you're built like me,
Yes.
the MDR is perfect.
Oh my gosh, main dining room. Yes. Elegant night. If you're wanting to spice up your photos on Elegant night, Speedo.
A Speedo. Yeah.
Nothing says fancy like Speedo.
A Speedo and a nice bow tie.
Oh, hey.
Yeah.
You would be like a Chippendale. That would be awesome.
I would like to welcome everybody to my new segment, Folk You. In this segment, I will introduce you to folk tales, myths, and legends. So now it's time for me to folk you up. Anyways. Starting off strong. Yeah. All right. Today.
On your next vacation, take a 3, 4, or 7-day cruise on Carnival, the most popular cruise line in the world. 'Cause Carnival's got the fun.
The thing I like about Eddy is he's upfront and he is no BS. So
No, he's not. You know, and he looks like he'll rip your head off. If
he does. He does, doesn't he?
I mean,
he's very
ripped.
intimidating.
He's ripped.
Yeah, he is. I've watched some of his videos and I'm like, okay.
I mean, his thumbnails for advertising his lives is just flexing. I'm like, oh.
Yeah. This is gonna be intense. No, but he's upfront about it. This is no BS news. You know, he doesn't exactly put it that way. But he
kind of does. He's like, I'm not going to advocate for this.
Yeah.
You know,
he says, this is no bull news, people. My name's Eddy, and here's the news. And he gives it to you straight up. And he's like, he doesn't play like, when you got a little kid and you got the little airplane with the spoon, and you're like, meow, open up. No. He's just like crams in the news, and he's like, no. So, but no,
wow.
I really like how he does it, though. We are going over some fascinating news. I wasn't. Oh my goodness, I wasn't ready for this. Oh, this is great. Oh, I gotta get. Hang on. Right. Okay. Yes, and Reese.
Where are you, Reese?
All right. Hey, guys. Hey, how y'all doing?
Reese, there you
Hi.
are. You've been gone a few weeks.
I have, and I just wanted y'all to know that I'm really here.
Yeah. I thought you didn't like us because, you thought you were better than us because you're supposedly the funny one.
Oh, isn't that just the funny? I thought that was so the funny. There's someday I be funny, but I've always been a little funny. My mom had me tested, and they said I was quite funny. So, it's just one of them things.
AMSR. How does that sound? Does that sound wonderful? I hope that sounds wonderful. Hey.
Hello everyone, everyone, and welcome to Carnival Cruising Podcastaways, the podcast where the Golden Boys talk about anything and everything Carnival Cruising related. Joining us today is Eddy Huddleston from the Huddle Adventures. And here's your host, Trevor Shelby, Thomas Kennedy, and Reese Scripture.
Welcome, everybody. What you got, Reese?
I was gonna say Happy Mother's Day to all the moms, our moms,
Yes,
your moms,
Happy
every
Mother's
mom.
Day. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I just realized that you stuck in one of our old podcast things. In
Yeah, I did. I went down memory lane today when I did that opening. So
the highly illogical podcast. Oh, man. the podcast where we had 2 listeners.
Yes, our moms.
That's where we had 2 listeners.
Oh, welcome. Today we've got Eddy from Huddle Adventures. Eddy, welcome so much.
Laura isn't here right now, but I'm here. So I know
You
you guys.
didn't
I know
look for
you
it,
guys.
sure?
Laura
didn't look-
was the one that got the invite, and then I was going to be the tag along, and then she backed out on me. So she's watching. She's in there. She's in the chat. I think she is. She should be in there. She better be in here somewhere.
We got
Man, I
Half
can't even
Luggage
see this
Will
chat
Travel
right
in
now.
the chat. Said, I
There it
guess
is.
you'll have to
Come on.
step up your interview game and get our peeps, the Huddle Adventures. And
My buddy Josh.
Yeah, I see you're having Josh on Tuesday. That's nice.
Yeah. Well,
yes,
Laura has to get her hair did, and she was sick last week and had to cancel her appointment. And I don't know if you guys know how hard that is. She has to schedule these things like 3 months in advance, and her hairstylist is actually going to do her at the end of the day, Tuesday, so she can have her hair all pretty for the cruise. And that left me being solo, unsupervised once again. With Josh. That's my go-to. As soon
we
as
had
I'm
talks
here-
about this.
Yeah, I'm alone when I have Josh. This is our second time doing it together, so hopefully we
Very
have a better
cool.
turnout than the last.
Well, I
second.
mean, turnabout's fair play. I mean, she's had Amanda on, and Amanda's had her on when Josh couldn't be on. I mean,
Yeah, that's
turnabout's
true.
fair play, isn't it?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, and then we try not to cause trouble while they're doing their live streams with our comments.
We got a quick hi from the Carnival Mardi Gras.
Nice.
Very nice, very nice. We will be on the celebration in just a few days.
Now, Reese, are you going to be on the celebration with us?
Yes, sir.
Awesome, man. That's
He
really
is
cool.
he is popping his cruise virginity.
Yes,
You know,
this will be number 1.
The Starlink system works really, really well on the celebration. It did when we were on it in November, and we were able to do live streams without a hitch. Man, it ran really smooth.
Very
so you
cool.
guys should be able to do a lot of cool stuff on the ship.
Heck yeah.
Very cool. Do you have any plans for celebration? Any special live streams or any kind of video content you're going to be doing?
Well, the alcohol determines what I do. No, definitely on Sail Away Day we'll be doing live streams on Sail Away Day. We had so much fun with it on the celebration in November. We were very fortunate. We got to go to the naming ceremony and then on the U.S. inaugural sailing of the ship the following day. But it was only a 6-day cruise, and it was kind of crazy because the first cruise we were on with a ton of fellow vloggers. So it was like everywhere you turn, there's somebody you recognize, someone recognizes you. And we were distracted by that somewhat. But day 1, we did a lot of live streaming. It was the most live streaming we ever did on a cruise. And we thought, man, this is great. Well, a week later, we come home, 6 days. We get on Oasis of the Seas, Royal Caribbean, literally 6 days later. I got sick in between cruises, lost my voice. I had laryngitis for the first 3 or 4 days of the cruise, so we didn't do any live streaming. Laura did the room tour. Laura was doing the vlogging stuff I normally do, and it did really well. She did really well with it, and it worked out fine. I generally do most of it just because she doesn't want to do it, that kind of thing. She supports me 100%, but she prefers me to handle that stuff. And I did on the Spirit, I did my first ever ship tour, and I've never done one of those before because I always say everybody does them, but I thought, I'm just going to do it. I called it my meat and potatoes tours. So I just did tours of the main decks you need to know to have the most fun on the cruise, basically. Where, your restaurants, your bars, all your entertainment's at, that kind of stuff. I wasn't going, carry out on deck 3. This is the cruise stays.
So Gary's got a question for you. Which internet package did you get?
Premium.
The premium?
Yeah, the premium package. We have to get it, Gary, because Laura, she works remote. So she gets emergency calls and emails, and she has to put fires out. She really never gets a true vacation. Here she is.
There she is.
Yeah. So yeah, she never really truly off, and that's even like over Christmas when we're home, like when most people don't have anything going on. And the funny thing is, Taylor, my oldest daughter, works for the same company Laura does now, but in a different division. And on Christmas Day, she was taking emergency calls, and it's just crazy. It's because it's related to the healthcare industry. She deals with doctors, and Laura does nurses. And some doctor missed his flight and was going to make his assignment or something. It's Christmas Day. I'm like, what is going on, man? But yeah, those guys don't get away from that. When I leave my job and come home, that place can burn down. I'll go back. Hey, what building you want me at now? We got 59 more still standing. Where you want me? It's like I don't bring any stress home with me ever. So that's
the way to do it.
They can go anywhere they want as long as they have a Wi-Fi signal. Both of them, they work remote, and that's something to be said about that. It wouldn't work good for me because I wouldn't have the self-discipline for it. I'll get to those reports after I do this. And then, I'd probably be making bad decisions and, halfway through the drink package for the day, tell them not having the patience for the craziness they got to deal with. They're basically recruiters and then HR people. So if there's a problem with the employee, the facility doesn't tell the employee, they contact them and says, hey, we got a problem with your employee. So she has to lecture adults on things adults shouldn't need lectures on, like real common sense stuff. And it drives her crazy sometimes, but it's a good job. And she gets to travel all she wants. Now I'm limited to, I start with 5 weeks vacation, and then I can work holidays and add PTO days. I can get up to almost 7.5 weeks total per year. And I think this year we're doing 7 cruises this year total by the end of it all. But yeah.
So the ship you just got off of, was it the Spirit?
Yes.
Okay. I go on the Spirit next year for an Alaskan cruise.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
So I need to know like the do's and don'ts.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I honestly can say this. I love the Spirit. I really do. And the Spirit class ships are really popular with a lot of the Carnival, the Diamond and Platinum people. They always, you hear them, a lot of them talking about how much they love the Spirit class ships. And like J&D, their favorite Pair DJ, their favorite ship is the Pride, which is a Spirit class ship. And I understand it now. And from the tours I watched, the vlogs I watched about the ship, I thought, man, it's really like kind of tacky and kind of goofy and gaudy. And it really isn't. When you see it, when you take it all in, it's really cool. The odd thing is they call the atrium the lobby. They don't call that the atrium. And it's called the lobby bar. So we kept calling it the atrium bar. But it's got elements of the Dream class ships on a smaller scale. But I honestly believe the Spirit, the way they retrofitted all like Guy's Burgers and Blue Iguana and the Alchemy Bar, they retrofitted all that stuff in. And I swear, if you didn't know it, you would have thought those things were always there. That's how nice they're designed into the ship. So you're at the lobby bar, you go right around the corner, there's restrooms. You continue on down the hallway, and there's the Alchemy Bar. And the Alchemy Bar is huge, and it has a little performance stage. So you have live music at the Alchemy Bar. A lot of the ships, if you don't, at the Dream class ships, you have Ocean Plaza next to Alchemy. So you can set an Alchemy and if you don't drink the fancy cocktails, you can do the Ocean Plaza bar, get your beer, and your spouse has cocktails, and you're watching live music right there. And that's our favorite thing, is watching live music. So the newer ships like Celebration, they don't have any live music by the Alchemy Bar. It's just those people going,
Oh, okay.
"We don't serve beer here. Only the cocktails." That ship actually has a nice little stage, so you got live music there, and there's plenty of room, and it was never overcrowded. So that's a really nice thing about it. And then I also like the fact that the on the Dream Class ships, the stage above the bar is like kind of high. So if you're actually sitting at the bar, you can't see it because it's kind of over your head like this. But not here. It's only a couple feet higher than the actual bar, and they're right there performing the music right in front of you. You sit right at the bar, and it's like the best seat in the house, right? And it's close enough that you don't have to yell to get your requests in, to the band. You can just say, "Leonard Skinner, please," and they can hear you. They have to yell.
There you go.
And yeah.
I don't think in the history of music or bands or live shows anybody has ever said "Leonard Skinner, please" that like low and timid.
No, they really don't. But there's other elements about the ship that's really cool. The pools are all heated. The water's heated, which for the Alaska element, because on normal cruise you got ice water in those pools because they refill them every night, so it's always cold. But there's a covered section. And the covered section in the midship has like a glass top over it, and all that warm from the heat of water, it's nice and balmy in there. So there's people in bathing suits laying out in there, even when you're going, you're going through Tracy Arms Forge, and they're sitting in there, in the pool. So that's pretty cool. And so you got that little area, and then you go out into like the open Lido deck. But the thing I really liked about it, the ship is nice and everything's like compact and close together. There's a couple, there's a really, really nice feature about it. The main theater, the Pharaoh's Theater, it's called Pharaoh's Palace. It's an Egyptian theme. You guys probably seen it on vlogs. It's 3 floors, 3 decks, and it's massive, and it's got great seating, and it's been all the upholsteries like looks brand new. It's like gold lame, and you got it's really, really neat. It's a really nice layout. So you have a very nice, stage for your shows and all that kind of stuff. And of course, you still have your Red Frog Pub and your the Blue Iguana, or the tequila bar, up top. And but most of everything you're going to need. The comedy club is kind of weird. It's underneath the Pharaoh's Palace on deck 1. So that's the only oddity. That's the only thing on deck 1 that you need to go to. But when you're down there, you also see there's a stairwell going down, and you'll see that's where medical is. So it's like the easiest. I've never even accidentally found the medical department on a ship before. And on this ship, I saw it. I actually vlogged about it I went down there. I had to. I'm like, I don't think you're supposed to be down here. That means I need to go take a look. But anyways, it's laid out really cool. So basically, you got deck 2 and 3, and then 9. 9's got all your guys' burgers and all that, the Lido deck and all that kind of stuff. So it's a very easy ship to navigate, and it's well thought out. Everything's logical and in a good place. And we didn't know it, but we were right over top of the theater and didn't hear nothing. Didn't hear anything. It was dead quiet. It was so quiet in our room that I had to leave the TV playing on low all night because it was just too quiet, and that's usually not the case. You usually hear something. You hear people slamming and banging doors. I don't think there is big on going out when it's 30 degrees out at night on their deck as they are when it's 80, so
yeah.
I wouldn't be.
No, but I'll tell you, it's a really, really cool ship. And Gary Manning and Josh are doing a group cruise on it in March of next year, March 16th. I know that's my birthday, 2024, and it's an 8-day out of Alabama. And I think we're going to do that. We're going to actually have to cancel one of our Carnival cruises to make room for it to go on it. But I've never sailed out of Alabama. I think that would be kind of cool to do. And, obviously, being with your friends and stuff and on a cool ship. It's a very cool ship. So you're going to like it, Trevor. I can't recommend enough. I mean, it's way better than the Sunshine class ships, like the Sunrise.
Oh, yeah.
Sunshine.
Oh, yeah.
So happy to hear that.
Yeah. Oh, way better.
You don't
than
even
that.
know.
No, we've been on both the Sunrise and the Sunshine, and we're
Yeah.
we're impressed with either one of those ships. Everything
Yeah.
on that seemed like an afterthought. Oh, and the piano bar,
Yes.
massive on the Spirit. The coffee area, they don't call it the Jasmine Cafe; they just call it the coffee stand or something. Huge seating area around that, and then the Red Frog Pub is huge on this ship too, and it's right by the piano bar. So it's
Okay.
like everything is like, and the casino's nice. I don't know if you guys are casino guys.
Yeah.
Didn't smell like overwhelmingly like smoke at any time when we were passing through there.
Yeah.
And it's smaller casino, but not, too small. Considering how small the ship is, the ship doesn't feel small because you don't feel jammed in, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like it's like the Ecstasy was, because that was my first cruise was on the Ecstasy, and all the stuff was on 2, 3, and 4, and then of course Lido Deck was on 9, and it didn't have any of the upgrades. So at that time, that was before the Fun Ship 2.0 came out. So
Yeah, well, I think that was like 2018 or something, 19, or maybe it was 17. Yeah, but I'll tell you what, I seen it in other ships where they just shoehorn stuff in there. You know what I mean? It's like this
The
Acme
Sunshine?
Bar is- yeah, it's like
Yeah,
everything's like jammed in. It's like what's going on
Lord.
here?
the
That's-
Sunshine was the most god awful renovation.
So the
Yeah.
Sunshine, I actually like. Now there was some alcohol involved, but on the Lido deck, the bathroom that was by, I think it was a Blue Iguana. I go in the bathroom. I go to get in the stall to go use the restroom, and the door swings in, and it like touches the toilet. And so like when I try to close it, there's no way to close it. And so I had to stand on the toilet to close the door. And I was like, this is so wrong.
There's a lot of odd things like that. And that ship also, I believe that's the one too that has like the Italian restaurant, and it's like a shared space or something in the back of the ship, if I remember correctly. It was really weird. But the Sunrise, I didn't like that one either.
Yeah.
I actually like that one less than I did the Sunshine. But I don't know if it was because I was on the Sunrise for a 4-day. I was on the Sunshine for a 5-day. So I don't know, but we did so many cruises in that window of time that some of it kind of blurred together. I still like the Vista class ships a lot.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have the atrium. The atrium is my favorite thing on Carnival. It's like you're on a Carnival ship when you get there and you see that all the way up, and that's the coolest thing on the Spirit, because at the top of that atrium is 3/4 of the funnel, and it's all glass, and that is the steakhouse up there. And I mean, and it is awesome. When you're sitting in a steakhouse, you're looking through. It's like a red tinted. It looks pink. Glass. You're looking out, and it's so awesome. 2 stories. They call it the Nouveau Restaurant, the steakhouse, and yeah, it's there's a lot of really cool things about that ship, and I can almost say it's like one of my favorite ships.
That's what I was going to ask you to I need Laura to explain that.
It's funny because we were up on deck 9 at the steakhouse, and we went out onto the deck from the doors outside the steakhouse. This was like in the morning after breakfast. We were getting some footage outside, and it was super cold. It was the only time it was really cold. It was right when we were getting to Tracy Arms Fjord, and the wind, it was super windy. It was like 30-mile-an-hour winds, and it was around 40 degrees. But with that wind chill, it felt like 15. And we weren't expecting that wind. We're out from Michigan. We step out on the deck like, and it's like, look at this. This is beautiful. And then I'm going, damn, I'm getting cold. And I turn on and look, and I see Carson, Peyton, and Laura making a beeline back inside the ship, going right in the door we just came out of. We're out there for maybe 60 seconds. So we go back in, and Laura says, I had to use the restroom. So she goes into the restroom, and then me and the boys are sitting out and we're talking. And I think we went outside a couple more times. I got some more pictures and came back in. And I'm like, man, she's been gone for a while. And finally, she comes out and she's like, I was locked in there. I couldn't open the stall door. She locked the stall door.
Oh,
and
no.
it was jammed in there pretty tight, you know. And she was trying to force it open. And I told her, you should have pulled it towards you, and then you could have pulled the latch out. And she's like, I don't know what I did. I was hitting it. I was screaming. I was trying to call you, and I wasn't getting her calls. She was trying to text you. She has Android, and I have iPhone. And we run into that problem sometimes where she can't text me when we're on the ship. And so anyways, yeah, she was going on about it. And our friend Andy from Arc Adventures literally got locked in a bathroom on the Lido deck, and the actual main door, he got locked in there, and they had to take the door apart to get him out.
Holy
and
cow.
Oh, wow.
The restroom for 45 minutes. And he's a great guy. We got to cruise with him in January on the NCL Breakaway, and what a great guy. He's a wine drinker, and he kept telling me all week, I'm going to get you drinking wine. And I'm like, all right. I said, okay, buddy. So I'm drinking wine with him. And he's like, did you like it? Oh, yeah, it was good. I mean, I'll drink anything. I'm like, yeah, it's good, Andy. And it was funny because the next night we see him after they went to dinner, and we hooked up with them after dinner, and we're going to different bars or something. And he was laughing because he asked the waiter at the end of the evening, he wanted one more glass of wine before, he's going to take it with him. And he ordered, he goes, yes, I'd like a walking wine. And the waiter goes, we do not have walking wine. And he's like, well, can I get another glass of wine? And the waiter goes, yes. And he tops off his glass, and then he left. And I go, he probably thought you were talking about some kind of brand of wine or something. It's like there's a language barrier there sometimes, And so, so we were all talking. Now it's a whole inside thing with a bunch of us that I'm going to get me a walking wine.
So are you
pretty sure that's wine from Christopher Walken's vineyard?
Oh, God.
Yes.
I like it.
Hey, try my wine. It's good stuff.
That's really good.
I aced this wine in my ass. Oh yeah.
Smell that. That's great. So what we're gonna ask, Thomas?
Oh, are you and Laura platinum or diamond on
We
Carnival?
will be platinum on this cruise. We're hitting our platinum status on this cruise. Now keep in mind our first cruise was Carnival. Oh, hey, thanks. Our first cruise of Carnival was August of 21. So between August of 21 and now we're gonna reach platinum, which is pretty cool, especially when you consider we sailed with Royal, Celebrity, and Norwegian during that same time period. We would have hit platinum sooner if we would have done all Carnival. But
where you too could get koozies like this.
So you're already platinum.
You're
right?
getting fanny packs.
yeah, fanny packs. Hey.
I think it'd just be kind of cool just to have the early, booking or check-in, check in 16 days earlier and 14 days early.
The laundry's a biggie.
We're staying up to midnight to do it, that kind of thing. But, we had to do that. We had to check in for this cruise and our Royal Caribbean cruise, which is next month, while on the Spirit, with that time zone difference and the wacky internet access and stuff. It was really, oh man. And then guess what? Carnival website crashes. It's down.
Oh.
Like, are you kidding? What? How? And we're already confused because we're doing it at 9 p.m. instead of midnight. It's like, but anyways, we got in and got it all done. But it was a confusing mess. Now, Royal, have you guys ever sailed with Royal before?
Mm-mm.
Okay. No, Royal, I think the check-in is like 45 days before your cruise. You get to check in, which is
wow,
kind of cool. But I actually like the Carnival one better because it's easier to remember that. 2 weeks out, that's math, 45 days are going, well, I ain't got that many fingers and toes. I can't count all that. But it gets a little confusing. Now we're doing a group cruise on Royal in 2026. It's January 2026. January 25. I'm sorry. January 26, 2025. I haven't been drinking, I promise you. And it is going to be out of Galveston. It's on Harmony of the Seas, which is one of their big Oasis class ships. And the reason why we picked Royal, two reasons. One was the cruise rate is fantastic for this cruise, for price on a 7-day cruise. The other thing is Royal just built a brand new terminal in Galveston.
Yeah.
We have cruised out of Galveston
Yeah.
multiple times now. We like cruising out of Galveston because you got Buc-ee's down there, and it's, and for guys that only cruise on Carnival, we thought this would be cool for our friends. They have never done anything but Carnival. They give them, this would be their gateway to try, just get away from the funnel for a minute and just see what it's about, Now, with all that said, Carnival's my favorite. Okay, that's my favorite cruise line. It takes a beat. Everyone beats on Carnival. Knocks it, Walmart of the sea, all that nonsense. And I honestly, people are always trying to tell you that Carnival is so much less expensive. That might apply in like the 3-day, 4-day cruises, right? But when you're talking 7-day cruises and more, by the time you start adding in all the nickel and dime stuff from like Royal and Carnival, they're very comparable price. They really are. What I like about like Celebrity, and I don't like Norwegian Cruise Line, but I like how they do their packages. And Princess, you get a package where everything's included. Everything's included. Your Wi-Fi, your drink package, and your gratuities are all included in one price. And you'll look at it and go, man, it's $3,100 for a balcony, but Carnival, it's only $1,900. Add that drink package in, your gratuities in, Wi-Fi, and now you're over $3,400. So when you start looking at it from that perspective, you think you're getting a better deal than you are. But that's why we're doing the Harmony of the Seas, because it's also a huge ship. And we were on Harmony of the Seas in 2019. Prior to the pandemic, we only cruised with Royal. I'm sorry. And then we switched over to Carnival and became addicted to Carnival. We actually had to stop and try something else just so we could have some credibility, because people, you can't have an argument with anyone about the cruise lines if you've only been on one. You're only thinking, so I've only been on cruise line X, so I can't tell you what this one's like. And but like I said, I like the people. The crew members are the friendliest on Carnival. Second friendliest of the ones we've sailed on so far is Royal. Royal's very close, but they're not going to tease you and like say, "Hey man, nice shoes." They sell men's shoes there too. They don't say stuff like your room steward might say something to you like on Carnival. They won't make jokes about you or mess with you like Carnival. Royal doesn't do that. They're a little more standoffish, and they're actually instructed not to be too personal with the members. And Carnival's like, have fun with them, and you have we make friends with every server, every bartender, every waiter. We make so many friends on every Carnival ship, and we don't do that on any other cruise line. I think on Royal we made 3 or 4, but this last cruise we got off of, Laura has a list this long for the survey of all the names, of people that she recommended or gave kudos to. So that's where it's at. So you boys, what I'm getting at is, you need to try Royal and try it with me.
Yeah.
Well, we've already decided that we're gonna try to do that group cruise that you guys are planning. We're changing the name of it.
Yeah, we're changing the name.
You don't like Traffic Like It's Hot?
I like it. But...
We like it, but it's gonna be called the Traders Cruise.
Cruise. Yeah. Well, listen, you got to keep in mind, man. I'm good buddies with Lee, the cruise director, Lee, and And we have friends at Carnival that take care of us. They're really, really good to us, but they understand. We talk to them. We tell them, hey, look, we need to branch out and try other cruise lines for credibility's sake, at least. Now, Laura is kind of a traitor because she favors Celebrity. She really does. But she has a more refined palate than I do when it comes to eating. I'm like Rambo. I can eat stuff that make a Billy goat puke. I wasn't trained to though. Traffic like a traitor. There. So
there we go.
She loves her food on Celebrity. The food is really, really good. Even the buffet food is like really, really good. You know how mashed potatoes are always bad at the buffet?
Yeah.
They're bad. They're either watery or they're lumpy or it's like they're nasty. I went on that Celebrity cruise. We only did a 4-day and Black Friday deal, guys. Don't sleep on those Black Friday deals. Oh my gosh. You get some killer deals. Of course, you guys know. But those of you people at home, don't sleep on Black Friday. But I got mashed potatoes the first time we were in there for lunch. And I'm eating them. I'm going, I must got a fluke batch here because these are just too damn good to be buffet mashed potatoes. And I'm talking, I've had buffet mashed potatoes at some of the finest establishments, like at real fancy haws at weddings, those $100, $150 plate weddings that are catered by really high level. None of them were that good. So I said, it's got to be a fluke. So next time I go in there, I got to get mashed potatoes again. I was like, damn it. They are excellent every single time. I tried it 3 times. I was going to turn into mashed potatoes. That's how good they were. But that was all the food. Everything you put on your plate was exceptional. And every station had a server, and the guy's wearing like a chef hat, cutting you the meat and putting the stuff on your plate. And they had a giant LED screen when you walked in on the wall, probably like a 60-inch, 65-inch. And it had all of the stations of the buffet with all the food of that day where it is. So you look at it and you go,
Yeah.
I'm going to get this, I'm going to get that. You don't have to wander around going, because when you're at Carnival and you go to buffet, you're doing 2 things, right? You're trying to find a place to sit, and you're trying to see if there's anything worth getting out the buffet, right? So you're doing the strategery. You're looking and you're like bobbing and weaving. That was the only tricky thing about the Spirit was the eating at the buffet, trying to get a table. It got a little tight, And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that, on a normal cruise, a lot of people like eating outside, and when it's 40 degrees, you want to eat inside.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Oh, there's nothing to it. I mean, you go outside and eat, and you're
We
bundled
did that.
up.
We ate 50
No.
degree temperatures out on the Serenity deck because we couldn't get a table, but there was tables in the Serenity area, and we broke the rules. We had our 15-year-old. I keep calling him. He'll be 16 next month. We had him sitting with us, and then we ate and then left out of there. But yeah, it's pretty cool. A very cool ship, very, very cool cruise. You're gonna love Alaska. I was just like, it's almost it's hard to put it in words, but it's basically everywhere you look, it's mountains, right? And it's just, I don't know, it's just incredible, man. When you start thinking about it, it's just amazing, and it's one of those things I never thought in my life I'd go to Alaska. I've only been traveling since I was 47. I just turned 54, so I was raised a poor kid where we didn't go on vacations, and as an adult, even though I've always had a really good job, vacation wasn't part of my culture, my personal culture, or my ex-wife's. She was also same boat, never did vacation. So as we were raising our family, I would say, hey, you want to go on vacation? We start pricing, we can go to Disney World for $5,000, with the 3 kids. And she's like, oh, I'd rather get new furniture, or I'd rather do this or that. We'd always put it back into the house, when we'd have that money for like you would use for vacation. My God, that was such a mistake, because after I got divorced and got with Laura, I went on my first cruise in 2017. And the thing about it was, I love all of it. The flying, going to a new city, and I want to visit every city. I don't just want to go on a cruise ship. I love going to the port cities, exploring, seeing new things, I'll see it all. You know what I mean? That's how I feel. And I feel like I'm racing against time. My dad died of a heart attack when he was 53. So I just passed him by 1 year. And Laura's dad died when he was 48. So we're both, we have this appreciation for the, how frail life can be. Tomorrow's not promised, and you need to. And then the other thing, I've been at the same place of employment for 28 years, and I've watched guys come and go. I watched them do all the right things, save all their money because they're going to travel when they retire to get cancer, or get divorced right at the time they're getting ready to retire, and they lose half of everything, and they're lucky if they can, buy a can of soup by the time they're done, or all kinds of different things. And then the number one thing that prevents them from doing things is their health, their physical ability to do all that walking and climbing stairs and exploring all these places. You're not going to get to go look at the Mayan ruins when you can barely go up and down one flight of stairs in your house because your knees and hips are shot from working physically your whole life, right? So that's it. But you, Thomas, you should be on a cruise ship as a musician, buddy.
Yes.
I've passed that stage of being able to do that. Because like I have friends who have been musicians on cruise ships, and they've all aged out and actually started, like, one's a professor now, and another one is actually, he started off as a musician, and now he's the vice president of the company that does all the artwork on art auctions on cruise ships and stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
But yeah, they've kind of aged out of it. That's a young person's game.
Oh yeah, it really is. And I've ran into some, because again, we love live music, and I've been playing guitar since 1985, and I mean, I absolutely love it. I love it. It's the one thing I've never stopped doing my whole life. And
playing music, I won't ever stop doing
yeah.
is playing music on a cruise ship. That yeah.
I was in bands early when I was young. For like 3 years, I was in bands, and it's playing in a band for me. The joy of it wasn't there, because it becomes a job, and it becomes monotonous, and it becomes, you got this relationship with these 3 or 4 other people, and you're lucky if you can have a good relationship with one person. Now you're trying to get along with all these people, and no one always agrees with each other. There's arguments about the style of music, what you're going to do, how we should go, what direction we should take, all that. And then the egos, right? So playing guitar, I was in a bands where there'd be 2 guitars, right? And then there's this, oh, well, you can't do the lead on that one because I got to do it. And, they just a bunch of just stupid stuff. And I just got to a point where all I like doing was rehearsing the jams, when we would just go and just be jamming and just 3-4 hours. The next thing you know, it's like, damn, we better stop. We're going to get the cops called on us because it's 2 a.m. and you're playing full blast. That's what I like. I just love playing music, and I love watching musicians, but I'll play forever. And that's one of the things with me working with my hands is the guys at work, they always make fun of me because I'm so careful with my hands. I won't touch anything without gloves on. They're always like, you're gonna get your hands dirty. I go, no, I don't want to get my lose a finger or something, because if I can't play guitar, man, I don't know what I would do. That's how much it means to me. And then I work on guitars too, so if I'm not playing them, I'm tearing them apart and rewiring them and doing all kinds of stuff to them. So this house behind me, my guitar shop is behind that bar behind me. I got my own little room back there, and it's got guitars hanging all over the walls, and it's a mess. The workbench is just full. There's always something tore apart on it.
I mean, speaking of, keeping your hands, I mean, like last December, it was in November that I played with a British style brass band for a short while, and I just started with them, and like 2 weeks beforehand, I'd actually was walking into one of my students' houses and tripped and fell and like smacked my hand. And it was, I was just about to start playing with them, and I hadn't, my hand was not healed, and I was like, I can't move my hand, and I'm a tuba player by nature, which is what I was playing in that brass band. And it took forever for that to work out. And I was like, I can't do this. So
I will tell you the cool thing about Royal is they call it the Rock Hall, I think it is, but it's a stage area in the ship dedicated just for live performances of music. Mm-hmm. And when we were on the Oasis back in December, they had Aerosmith, the top Aerosmith cover band in the world. And I was like, yeah, whatever. It's gonna be pretty cheesy, right? I did some research after we got out the ship, and they're ranked as one of the top 10 cover bands in the world, period. They're number one Aerosmith band. But anyways, they got a rock hall, right? So it's set up like the theater seating with the stage and a light show, and they have a bar in there. That's one thing I love about that. There's a bar in there, so the servers aren't having to go to another bar outside of the venue and bring you drinks back. So they're running around keeping the drinks flowing. There's no 15 limit on there either. It's unlimited. So you don't have to worry about how many you've had or anything. I'm not being an advocate for the alcohol industry. But anyways,
nor am I.
They were so good, and it was so awesome. And these guys even look like every person there, except for the drummer. The drummer didn't look like he was a member of Aerosmith, but they were really, really good. And then we got news that when we go on Oasis of the Seas again in June, they're going to be on there again. So that's really, really
nice.
Cool. Yeah. So it's really neat. But I end up talking a lot to the different musicians on the cruise ships. Now, NCL Breakaway, they have the Sid Norman's Poorhouse. Excellent concept. Poorly executed, though. It's too small, and it's a rock bar, right? And they had a Fleetwood Mac cover band or a tribute band to Fleetwood Mac, where they play the entire Rumor album front to back, and between every song, they give you the story behind each, how it was written, what was happening with each person as they were writing it, what inspired it, from documentaries and from the history of Fleetwood Mac, which really was really cool. And they were phenomenal. They're really good. But the guitar player, I was watching him, and he's a little bit heavy at times. He is playing some of those leads a little heavy, and man of my own heart. And I'm like going, that kid he's an Eddie Van Halen guy. I know he is. He wasn't doing the tapping, Eddie Van Halen stuff like that, but I just knew, I could tell by the way he was playing rhythm guitar. And I ran into him in the hallway like the next day. I said, "Hey, buddy," he said, "You're a Van Halen fan, aren't you?" And he goes, "How do you know?" I go, "I could tell. I could hear it when you were playing." And he started laughing. And I also, I told him, I said, "You did a good job with that Never Going Back Again." I don't know if you guys are familiar with that song by Fleetwood Mac, Never Going Back Again. It's that guitar. And it is, what happened, it's really cool because they tell the story of this. When Lindsey Buckingham recorded it, he recorded it in the wrong key for his voice. So he spent 12 hours in the studio getting that down, goes in the studio the next day to lay down vocals, and it was too low. So he had to play it higher. And by doing that, he made that song so hard to play. And he's already got a really unorthodox way of playing. It's like a self-taught finger style that he does. And no one plays it right. No one plays it right. And he told me he only had a few weeks to work on it. And he did a really nice job, faking his way through it. And way better than a lot of guys I've seen. And he was only 26 years old, and like you said, it's a young man game. And those guys they're practicing, rehearsing every single day, and they're not doing anything. They're sitting in their cabins, playing around with their guitars and stuff. And so it's pretty cool. But yeah, I will give NCL a real big nod for that Sid Norman's Poorhouse. What a great idea. The venue's way too small. You actually have to stand in line for an hour and a half. It's like Disneyland, where you want to ride this ride, it's an hour and a half wait. And I just think that's just ridiculous. See, they should put those shows in their big concert, the big stage areas on the ships where they do their Broadway productions, because that was a draw on that ship, on the Breakaway. And that's a 145,000 ton ship. So it's a pretty good size ship, like the Vista size ship, and just a tiny area for such a awesome, highly, anticipated show. Everybody on that ship wanted to watch that show. And they did it a couple times during the week. But again, who wants to stand in line for an hour and a half on your cruise? So that's
not me.
Yeah.
No. But Royal does it right. They have a venue that's big enough for that, and they do it right. I thought that was really, really cool. But that's the one thing you'll see when you try other cruise lines. Some cruise lines are better at some things than others. And the thing about Royal that's a little different too, there's more Spanish speaking people on Royal ships in our experience than on Carnival. And it took me a while to realize that, because we'll get in the elevator and how you guys doing? I'll just say something, and I'll just be funny, And I go on a Carnival. Yeah. I'm funny at Carnival. Everybody laughs in the elevator. Royal, people will just go, they look at the top of their shoes, and they start paying attention that those are the ones that don't speak English. And I'm not funny to everybody, but but a lot of them just ain't gonna appreciate me because that. Now my son-in-law, he was with us, and he said something really, really funny, and half the elevator bust out laughing, the other half didn't. And then we got off. He's like, "That was weird." And I go, "Those guys don't speak English." And then we started paying attention, and that's what it is. There's a lot of people from South America, that cruise with Royal Caribbean. So it's different. I don't know if they market themselves harder in Latin America or what. I don't know what the draw is, but that's been our experience, and that's based on several cruises on Royal, and we've noticed that.
Yeah.
But then again, you got Carnival, you got some people on Carnival, man, they just don't know how to act. And thank God they do have a 15 drink limit.
Yes,
because of
yes.
that.
Well, speaking of the big acts and everything, we actually have a running sponsor for the last 2 weeks that they give us free food, and so we play their ad, and they actually have a pretty big name involved. So I'm going to go ahead and play that real quick. We were contractually obligated. So here we go. Now exclusively at Fiona's on May and Backdoor Alley in Rusty Hole, Michigan. We are now offering Larry's Luscious Lobster Lips. These lips are so scrumptious, they'll have you smacking your own in delight. Perfect for a quick bite, a party snack, or a novel gift for someone you care about. That's right, Larry's Luscious Lobster Lips, the treat that kisses back. But don't take my word for it. Hear from our esteemed Patreon, Elton John. I had a chance to try Larry's luscious lobster lips, and let me tell you, I can't wait to have a second round with those lips. Larry's luscious lobster lips are outstandingly unusual, and I'm not entirely convinced that it's even feasible to cook up lobster lips, let alone create an enhancing snack out of them. Larry's Luscious Lobster Lips are 100% fictional. Elton John is a paid spokesperson. Any resemblance in name with anyone else, even so slightly, is completely coincidental.
You are absolutely crazy. Which
I
one
love
you
it.
came up with that? Is that you?
Oh, Fiona's is a creation of Reese's.
Reese?
Yes. It's Fiona's deep fried fish buttholes.
You guys are crazy.
And we just keep riffing off of it, and I love it.
New food every week.
Reese or Trevor, you guys ever try to do anything in comedy, like for real? I mean, seriously, like a profession?
Okay, so the story behind our YouTube channel with Carnival Cruising Podcastaways is that it came from a kind of a comedy thing that if you ever watched the TV show Mystery Science Theater 3000. Yes. So we started, and this is when was it, Tom? It was 2008, 2009.
I got the thing, it was 12 years ago. So
12 years ago. So this is early-ish YouTube. And so it took off.
We financed the entire cruise off of that.
That's so awesome. What we did was we took movies that were in the public domain and we posted them on YouTube and we riffed on them and kind of made it our own. And kind of got away with things you couldn't really get away with on YouTube nowadays. And we got invited to, back then you had to be invited to their partner program, and it wasn't based upon subscribers and hours. And so then we got on that, and we got up to close to 10,000 subscribers, and we had after so long, we had such a big battle with copyright strikes and fighting this and that left and right, and it was every single day. I finally was like, I can't keep doing this, and our channel we're about to lose it.
We changed to doing mockumentaries.
We started making our own stuff up.
Like Trevor did one on Napoleon Bonaparte.
Yeah, and the Chupacabra.
And the Chupacabra.
That's my favorite.
I wrote one on the rise and fall of Daniel LaRusso, which oddly enough, their view, Cobra Kai's view of Johnny Lawrence is actually pretty close to what Trevor did, and this was years before Cobra Kai actually came out.
This is years and years ago, and I was like,
I just wrote.
I was on a table and I had what was it? It was Crown whiskey.
Yeah, Crown and a cup noodle.
Yeah, it was a cup of noodles. And I really drank it too. I drank it and I was like, that damn.
In
Daniel
the script,
cheated.
I wrote Johnny is drunk, and he just took off with it.
It was so funny.
That movie, man, when that first came out, that was right when we got cable for the first time, and I must have watched that thing 20 times that summer it came out on cable TV.
Yeah.
Why do we played such a big role in your life, man? It's like you're always going to wax on and wax off, right?
Yes.
Paint the fence, stand the deck, all that stuff, man. That's crazy. I had a confession though. I did not watch the series on Netflix, so
it's worth it. Like,
yeah,
if you liked it. It's faithful.
I need to watch that. I need to watch Better Call Saul. I haven't watched that either, and my boys are always telling me you got to watch it, and I haven't watched that. I watched Breaking Bad. And I was like, that was like one of my favorites. But you guys, seriously though, you guys are very, very funny, very entertaining. Very witty.
Thank you.
And it's great. I love it. I love the fact I'm going to be on a cruise with you guys in a few days because you're going to keep me laughing. I know that. So
yes. Currently, everyone on the screen right now is hilarious.
Whoa. Come on now. All right.
That wasn't nice.
Oh, he's just a little butthurt.
Yeah.
he got voted the funny one, and I don't like it.
Seriously though, I mean it though. You guys you're really, really creative. I have one of my buddies from middle school and high school. His dad made him go to college. He had to get a degree, and I forget what he gets a degree in. He planned the entire time from the time I met him. Probably I think I met him in grade school, actually, like 5th grade. He wanted to be a comedian. And he has pursued a life as a professional comedian since graduating from high school. He's 54 years old, and that's done. And he moved down to Houston, and so he does a lot in the Houston area, and then he goes on tours a couple times a year, and he works his way all the way up to Michigan and spends like a week or two, or sometimes even a month at his dad's house in Michigan, and does the comedy clubs around us. And no, I have not ever went to see him because I'm not going to go. He would tee off on me, man. It would not be pretty. It would not be fun for me. If he saw me come through the door, but he has too much material on me, too much information. But I have nothing but respect for him because he's never going to make a lot of money. I mean, he jokes about how he's always buying everything from the Salvation Army, Goodwill, for real.
Right.
He has like stretches where he'll make a lot of money because he's doing a lot of shows, and then he'll have stretches where he's not doing anything. Like during the COVID thing, he was in really, really bad shape as far as finances went. And I tried to talk him into him, like, man, you need to take advantage of like Instagram and TikTok and do skits on there and get a following there. And but he's old school, man. He loves all the classic comedians, and it's just not his thing, and he's like a comedian snob too. It's like there's like a dozen sitcoms. If you mention them to him, he goes on a rant, like your crazy uncle who thinks that the government put a chip behind his ear or something. He's like that about sitcoms.
Yeah,
going about those. He. Two Broke Girls. Oh God, that one. Oh, he goes nuts on that one. The laugh track. Oh, and Friends. Oh my gosh, he'll go off about Friends for an hour and a half. You never mentioned it to him. But my point is, him, going after that and pursuing what makes him happy and what it's his passion. It comes with a lot of hiccups, a lot of ups and downs, and the downs are pretty bad. But when he's on fire, man, he's really on fire. And no matter what, he's doing what he wants to do. And I feel the same way about musicians, Thomas. The guys that don't take the safe route. I take the safe route. I've been at the same job. I'm like Groundhog Day, Bill Murray. I get up every day, do the same damn thing every single day. And I work every day that I'm not on a cruise. we're flying Thursday. I work Thursday, and I'm going to the airport right from work. And then the day after we get back, I'll be right at work again. I work 76 hours a week. That's how I pay for the cruises. I'm a workaholic, but that's beside the point. I don't take risks. I wouldn't walk away from that security to pursue music because that's too much risk for me, right? So I'm overly cautious. And I didn't travel when I was younger and stuff. So I envy the people that are able to say, I don't care. I'm not going to let money rule what I decide. I'm going to chase my passions. And, because at the end of the day, you'll never have enough money, but you always make more, right?
Yeah.
Because you'll never make more time. And, when you're old, you're not going to regret the fact that, oh, I should have worked more. You're going to wish, or, you might regret the job you kept all those years. You might regret, not taking chances. And so I really admire people that can do that. And like I said, you guys are really funny. And I really appreciate what you guys do. I think it's great. I'm excited to get on the ship with you guys. It's going to be a lot of fun. And we got to get Trevor. We got to watch him, though. When you give him those Long Island iced teas, you got to keep one of those things on his wrist, like the little toddlers with them off. They don't wander off, Make sure
absolutely. You'll find me one of those clamshells.
Yeah.
So,
a funny story about you and your Long Island iced teas. But that is your most bang for the buck alcohol on the cruise ship.
It really is.
It'll get you messed up bad. But again, like I said, guys, it's that's a good thing about Carnival is that 15 drink limit. It keeps things a little more under control. And if you pace yourself, even if you're a hardcore drinker, 15 will do you fine. Especially when you get off on dry land a couple times where you can get some more supplemental alcohol when you're on the port, which I've been known to do occasionally. That's one thing I will tell you. In Alaska, I did not drink as much as I normally do because it didn't feel like the tropical steel drums. Cruise, where you got to worry about getting sunburned and that kind of stuff. And
but it's cold in Alaska. That's the time to drink.
Yeah, it is. But I don't know. I just didn't drink like I normally do. I don't know. I still drank. I got my money's worth, but I didn't.
There you go.
One of my
when we got off the ports, it's funny. The duck fart shot.
Yeah.
You guys go to that in Alaska, right? So we have to get one. And Laura does hers, and I do a vertical short of her doing hers. And quack, quack, knock this shit back. You got to say that. She does hers perfectly. And then I do mine. I didn't record myself. I was like, said over another one. But I did two of those shots like within like 2 minutes of each other. And I was like, and after I did that, I was like, hey, feeling all right. But that's the only drinking I did in port. And usually that's where I didn't drink is in port. Because usually when I get off the ship, we stop at a bar somewhere, and you drink when you're in the port. And I didn't do that in Alaska. So that was the I don't know if it's because it was cold or it just didn't have the same vibe. But I mean, when you get off the cruise ship and you're in the Caribbean, you're like, hey man, where's the alcohol? That's where you're going, right? It's like that's where you're heading. So, but yeah.
Well, Eddie, I gotta say it has been a pleasure having you on today's show.
Well, sorry if I talk too much, guys.
No, you are fine. We usually have the opposite problem. So thank you so much.
I'm so excited to meet you guys on Friday.
I don't know Reese as much as I do you two guys, right? And it's mostly due from Josh ragging on Thomas.
Right.
I'm gonna get you back, Thomas. I'm not gonna let that big guy bully you.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he's like 9 foot tall. What am I supposed to do?
You guys, you cruised with them before, right? You were on a
you met
him on a ship, didn't you guys?
Yeah.
You know how nice he is. He is. Oh my gosh, he's like the ambassador of goodwill. He is such a good guy. Him and Amanda, they're just super, super sweet. They drove down to New Orleans and stayed 2 nights in New Orleans, 4 hours from their home, the 2 days before we got on the Vlogger Extravaganza cruise, just to show us around. And they were our personal drivers and took us everywhere. We had my mom with us. My mom's going to be on this one with us as well.
Oh, cool.
So she loves those guys. Loves them. They're such sweet people. And she said, "This is my last cruise ever." And then while we were on that cruise, she booked this one. And she paid a lot because she's paying double occupancy just for herself. I think like $2,800 she laid out to go on this cruise, and that's because she loves Josh and Amanda. She thinks that they are just exceptional, and we agree. They're just so awesome. And like I said, and anyone, if Josh tells me he likes somebody, they get my bill of stamp of approval too.
Conveniently, we interviewed them first before I went on that cruise, and I go on. I get on the ship and I go to Lido deck, and oddly enough, I see this giant dude. I was like, I know him. I go up and talk to him, and it's Josh waiting in line for gelato. Oddly enough, that's how I met him, was getting gelato.
That's so funny. And he's tall, but he's not. When he was young, you see pictures of him when he was a kid. He was just lanky. He's just real lanky, So I got a buddy that's his height, but is twice his width, And he's like, like Manila Gorilla, like the Yeti. That guy's huge guy. But yeah, Josh, he's great. Like I said, we're gonna have a blast. It's a good thing he doesn't drink, so he can keep the rest of us on the straight and narrow.
Yes, absolutely.
It's gonna be like curtain, right?
Oh. So Eddy, where if anybody listening that wants to see more of your content, where would they go to see more?
Well, the adult, right? No, I'm joking.
Your OnlyFans, please. Yes.
That's just to get through college, guys. I'm just. It's hard being a student these days. Huddle Adventures. That's pretty much it. We're Huddle Adventures on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. We just opened a Huddle Adventure community group on Facebook as well. We decided to have a like more of a private group where we hope people feel more comfortable, that the quiet people that don't want to, they're afraid to say anything on Facebook because everyone wants to argue. So we want to have more private group for that, so people might feel more comfortable to participate. And I think we just opened that, started that maybe 2 months ago, and we got over 300 people in there already. So it's doing really well, and we're gonna try to have more share more personal content in there and do something different there. But it's hard when you're trying to share your stuff on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook and YouTube, and then trying to have exclusive content. That's where a lot of people do the paid memberships on YouTube. And I toyed with it for a minute. I set it up, but then I got to thinking, I don't have time to make additional private content because I can barely make the content I'm doing right now. And so it's not like I'm lazy. I think we have almost 700 uploads on our YouTube channel now. They're not all great, but there's lots of them. I go for quantity. Other guys do quality, but anyways, Well, but and that vlogger cruise, man, we met some of those guys that are like Spielbergs, is what I call them. That are just like, you should see all the gear they have, man. They're just, I don't have the patience for that, man. It's like crazy, but yeah, they just are amazing. But yeah, that's where you can find us, Huddle Adventures, all over, and great,
very cool.
Thank you very much for having me on.
No problem, man. We're glad to have you on.
Yes, and we definitely want you back.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of pay for content, tonight we are posting on our Patreon. We're doing a John Hild Says Drink game, and it is a drinking game where we're going over the many cruising complaints. So we had to take the drinks when you can't resolve the issue.
So grab your spicy beers and drink along. Have luggage will travel, talking smack on me, putting tahini in my beer. What is wrong with you?
I'm gonna tell you that's a really fun game. We should try that game on board on the ship.
Yes.
Oh man, I
Yes.
am down.
We were just talking
Oh.
about that these games that we're creating are absolute bangers. Like, they're hilarious, and they are absolutely something that we can turn into an actual game. So
Listen, I'm game. I'm in. So
There,
whatever
okay,
you guys wanna
awesome.
do, I'm in. That'll be a lot
Awesome.
of fun.
that might be during
Laura,
the bar
your
crawl.
wife just said she's in too. So
There
Yeah.
you go.
Well,
Well,
yeah, I'm not really
yeah.
in charge of anything, but I sound like I am when I'm by myself. But
I
she's
know
not
that
here.
feeling.
Yeah. But no,
I think
for real,
eventually Trevor's wife is going to be looking for him, and he'll be out on the
Yes.
deck with me and my
She
arm
will
wrapped
be
around
looking
him. We'll
for
be
me.
singing like sea shanties and shit, falling over ourselves. It's going to be awesome.
that,
She will not be looking for me.
those John Held comments though, they are so, man, you just roll your eyes and shake your head on all the dumb
Mhm.
stuff that people say. It's just like, oh my gosh, that poor guy. I mean, he's paid handsomely to deal with it, but my goodness.
Yes.
man.
Yeah, some of the
Crazy.
stuff that he goes through.
I don't know.
His mom is in real bad shape right now.
Yeah,
she's
yeah,
on
unfortunately.
palliative care now, which
Yeah, yelling at him for not mentioning their hometown where some like tragedy occurred. It's like, how's he supposed to? What? He's not,
Yeah,
amazing.
I'm sitting here like, well, half the United States hasn't heard of that either because I haven't.
Yeah.
Half the stuff that they're complaining about, I don't know nothing about. It's like, and I hate to say this, but it's like there's like the mass shootings. There's a mass shooting every week. How's he going to keep track of that? There's been like 300 of them this year. I mean, there's literally, it's every time you blink, you're like, oh, like we were on the cruise and I looked and I heard Texas, right? And I'm like going, oh yeah, that was before. I'm like, no, that's another one in Texas, right? So it's just,
the Allen shooting.
How are you supposed to keep track of all that stuff? He's in another country, man. So it's just crazy. People are just, that's what I like about cruising. Cruising gets you away from all that stuff. You know what I mean? You can just disconnect and be away from it for a week or so, where even when I have the Wi-Fi, I get I'm not on the news stuff. I don't care what's happening back home. I care what's happening here. I want the kids burning the house down or let my dogs out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And we actually talked about that the other day, which was people were complaining that they weren't playing the news like 24/7 on the Lido deck. And it's like, nobody wants that.
No, they had CBS News channel on the Spirit. They had the little TVs, and that's the only news they had on there. And it really wasn't. It was kind of it's like a CBS News magazine type show where they're like interviewing different people and stuff. It wasn't like your, the world is on fire, the sky's falling. It wasn't your typical news, that kind of thing. But that's what they want. You got people that swing one way want certain networks, and the guys that swing the other way want the other networks, and it's just, you can't make anybody happy. And that's the one thing I really love about cruising is there's no blue ships, red ships. It's just ships, right? So no matter where we sail out of, if we sail out of Texas, which is the reddest state in the country, and Florida, we never talk politics to anybody on board. We never hear any talks about politics on board. And that's what I like about it. That's the way it used to be. When we were kids, our parents didn't run around talking about who they voted for, and that was like, you never talk about that. What do they tell you? Never talk politics or religion, right? You don't do those two things because that causes people to get heated. And so I miss that. That's what I miss. I miss. And then cruising you don't have that. I've never seen it on a cruise ship. And that's really good. I don't care what's going on back home, who's getting arrested for what, or who's being charged, or what war is going on. I haven't heard any of that on a cruise ship. And that's a really cool thing. I do hear funny things though, where like I've had people from Texas multiple times. They say, man, you talk funny. Are you from Canada? I'm like, no, I'm not from Canada. Close. But they'll say stuff like, you're from Michigan? You're a cool guy, after talking to me for a while, because they assume that, I'm from Michigan, I'm a liberal and I'm an asshole, but then they find out that I'm not an asshole, but we don't talk about my politics. So, You know, you don't get into that, but it's just one of those things where you just kind of, you know, shake your head, and it's like, well, that's how you should judge each other's by how you interact and how you treat each other. The golden rule, right? And that's what I love about cruising, man. We sit down at those bars, the Alchemy Bar, whatever bar, and we make friends with the people left of us, the right of us. You know, and that's how we cruise. We make friends everywhere we go, and that's what we love about it. Because you can't do that back home, man. Everybody's working hard, everybody's stressed, everybody's just trying to get by, man. The inflation's crazy, everything's expensive, and you know, everybody's flipping each other off and honking their horns and don't have patience for each other. And then you go on those cruise ships and it's like all that shit stops.
It's a vacation from life.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
that's what
absolutely.
I like. Even land vacations don't compare to that, because you still have the people that live around those areas that are grinding away, trying to make a living. And that's the bottom line. That's all of us. We're all, in one way or another, we're grinding. We're on the grind constantly.
Mm-hmm.
If you can get away from that and be in the middle of the ocean where you can't see anything at night, that's a good start, man. That's cool. That's what I like about it.
Well, definitely check us out over on Facebook at facebook.com/Carnival Cruising Podcastaways. We've got the group and we've got the page. You join them both. That is the trick. That's like cult status number 1. Cult status number 2, send us a speak pipe. It's speakpipe.com/Carnival Cruising Podcastaways. I actually got the link now. And we've got, you could send us a message on there and we'll play it on the show. I wouldn't even listen to it beforehand. You could say something awful. It would be.
We all have to wear the same kind of Nikes like Haley Bot comic guys, or
not that so much, but it is like only one kind of Kool-Aid though, and you know, it's it's what we got. It's what we can afford. So
multicolored robes, but preferably white.
You guys are awesome, man. You guys are awesome. I appreciate being on, and like I said, I look forward to seeing you guys in a couple days. You guys, are you coming in Thursday or Friday?
We're coming in on Friday.
Yeah, we'll be in on Friday afternoons. Yeah, early afternoon sometime, because like 19 hours from my mother's front door. It also depends on how long Trevor's going to stick around at those Buc-ee's.
Yes. Yeah, we've mapped out 5 Buc-ee's locations, and I will stop at every one of them.
No kidding. I've only been to the one in Texas City. That's the only one I've been to. And funny story, real quick. First time we went to Galveston, we were sailing on to Vista, and I'm watching this guy, Jeffrey Pooler's Family Vacations. He's got a channel, and he talks like this. He's like, "Oh, right. We're getting ready to get on the ship, people." He talks like that. It's going to be a lot of fun. He talks like that, and he's like, when we sail out of Galveston, we always stay at the Spring Hill Suites because it's right next door to Buc-ee's. And Buc-ee's is great. You walk right across this field, and you go right into Buc-ee's. So here I am, hotels.com. Okay, Galveston, Spring Hill Suites. I'm like, $380. My God. Well, fine. I book it. We get down there. Houston Hobby, take a taxi, $140 taxi ride to Spring Hill Suites. There isn't a Buc-ee's, and there's no Buc-ee's. What's going on? I'm like, I walked out of the building and walked all the way around the hotel, making sure there's some field, and I got to go there, and there's going to be Buc-ee's. I'm like, it must be smaller than advertised. So we're in Galveston. The Buc-ee's is in Texas City.
Yeah,
in the Spring Hill Suites, $180 a night in Texas City, not $380. So we paid an extra $200.
Oh no!
Walking distance.
You said the wrong city.
I'm like going.
Oh,
I'm like, Jeffrey Pooler, I'm gonna kick your quiet butt, dude.
I love it.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
So, anyways, we got to redeem ourselves because we sailed out of Galveston again recently, and when we did that, we stayed at the Spring Hill Suite right next door to Buc-ee's in Texas City, and what an experience that was. It was awesome. It lived up to its advertising. And Josh said, when you go to Buc-ee's, you're going to spend $100. We spent $109. He was pretty close.
The last time I was in Buc-ee's, I spent $30.
Oh, well, you did good.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah,
well,
it depends, man. If you're picking up beef jerky and all kinds of stuff or merch, man, you'll drop quite a bit.
We're buying brisket sandwiches.
Yeah,
we got our dinner out of Buc-ee's. Basically, I said, this is almost like Detroit, where you eat your dinner out of the gas station. Yeah, but my God, what a crazy place. I never seen that many fuel pumps and no diesel, no semi trucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a monster truck stop, and trucks aren't allowed there. I'm like, oh, how crazy is that? But yeah,
It's
they got
wonderful.
a pretty good setup there. It was neat. I really liked it, and that's why our group cruise we're gonna get a block of rooms at Spring Hill Suites in Texas City, right next to Buc-ee's, because
I like that.
more people should experience that. So that's part of it. So, and the other thing too, guys, is the 3 port cities, 3 countries we're going to, the ports. We have excursions planned for all 3 of them that we've done before that are a lot of fun. And that's the whole reason why we picked that cruise, because it's going to be fun the whole entire way. The Buc-ee's trip before, and then all the stops we get off Rotan, Costa Maya, and Cozumel. We love Paradise Beach and Cozumel. It's a really, really cool place. And but we have a couple other places in the other 2 stops that we also like to do. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So shameless plug for our group cruise once again.
There you go.
Plenty of time
we're going to plug it away.
All right, guys. And you just go to booking at haveluggagewill.travel.com, send an email. Or is it? Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's
and,
it.
Get Amanda. She's our girl. So
yes, absolutely.
All right, fellas.
All right, thank you guys so much. And just know you are unique, you are special, and you are loved.
And remember, anything that happens on the ship stays on YouTube. Bye.
Bye,
Save
fellas.
the foosball tables, won't you? Bye-bye.
Good night, guys.
Good night.
See ya.
This song is for the blue card reads. Every night in my dreams I see you, I feel you, that's how I know you. Go on, near, far, whatever you are, I believe that the heart does go on. Once more you open the door and you are here in my heart, and my heart will go on and